Now at 6, dispensaries in Missouri can now start selling recreational marijuana. Plus, a car chase in Newton County leads to a manhunt and an arrest. And how an organization in Carthage is helping to make sure all kids in the community learn to read.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
It's day 1 for the legal sale of recreational marijuana in Missouri. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Certain licensed dispensaries in the state can now sell recreational cannabis to people aged 21 and older. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to a Carthage-based dispensary about the business.
February 6th was supposed to be the official day for dispensaries selling recreational marijuana in Missouri. However, for dispensaries that applied for their license and were quick with the paperwork, can start selling recreational marijuana before February 6th.
I think as long as you applied on time and the dispensaries had everything in order, their paperwork up to date and compliance was okay, it should be relatively easy if you did a good job during the medical years to keep everything on point.
The sales tax rate for recreational is 6%, while medical cannabis is still 4%. Adults 21 and older can now purchase up to 3 ounces.
That's it. You can be an out-of-state resident too. You don't even have to have a Missouri ID. We can also serve out-of-state medical patients now if you have a medical card in another state.
Blue Sage dispensary workers are in a frenzy trying to adapt to recreational sales early. Despite the frenzy, this is a long-awaited day.
This is something that makes an impact on so many people's lives. We see it all day, every day, and it's just expanding. It's for everybody now, you know.
Blue Sage held the title of being Carthag's first medical marijuana dispensary, but now they can add another title, being Carthag's first recreational marijuana dispensary. Here's the reactions from the community.
I mean, I personally didn't vote for it, but anything that keeps me from getting in trouble with the cops, you know what I'm saying?
It's an improvement with the kind of, I guess, the quote-unquote war on drugs, because it just kind of decriminalized something I don't think should be criminalized.
All the people with depression that couldn't get it because of not being legal or they don't have their card.
Reporting in Carthage, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Now, Blue Sage is going to have a grand opening celebrating recreational sales on February 6th. Federal lawmakers this week discussed a piece of legislation that comes around about once every 5 years. That's the Farm Bill. It helps set rules and qualifications for nutrition assistance programs like food stamps, the accessibility of crop insurance, and development in rural areas, among other things. Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas tells KOAM News he doesn't anticipate any major changes.
A farm bill has been authorized approximately every 5 years, and it's one of the key ingredients, the backbone why Americans are able to enjoy safe, reliable, and I emphasize affordable food. That Americans on average spend about 7% of their income on groceries. Most developed nations is twice that. So we have a farm bill that's working. There's some little tweaks, but I don't anticipate anything major that we need to change with it.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now with a first look at the weather.
It's been a beautiful day across the area. Lots of sunshine to go around for everyone. A little bit on the cool side as we're starting to see temperatures dropping through the 30s right now. 37 at 6, 33 a little bit later this evening, and by 10 o'clock we'll be below freezing, dipping down into the upper 20s by tomorrow morning. And if we take a look at what we're expecting for the weekend, we're going to be looking at windy conditions on Saturday, and then a little bit less so on Sunday, but then rain comes into our forecast as we go into Monday and Tuesday, and of course I'll have all the details on that coming up in your forecast.
All right, we'll see you then. Authorities in Tennessee have found a missing 14-year-old girl from Joplin and arrested a man who was with her. Investigators learned she might have been picked up by a man from Fort Myers, Florida. That man was identified as 31-year-old Christopher Brewery. Federal authorities say they found Brewery and the girl at a motel in Knoxville, Tennessee. Brewery was arrested on charges of transporting a minor across state lines with the intent to engage in sexual activity. The girl was reunited with family members. A car chase leads to a manhunt in Newton County, Missouri. Law enforcement from 3 agencies yesterday worked together to capture a wanted felon in Seneca. Newton County Sheriff's deputies and the Missouri Highway Patrol chased the suspect into Seneca, where Seneca police were waiting with tire deflation devices near the Seneca Sports Complex on Bethel Road. Authorities say the suspect then ran into a wooded area. The three agencies arrested that suspect around 5 p.m. Police have not released the suspect's name. Some young students in Carthage today received new books to help them strengthen their reading skills. KOAM's Yana Hautala has more from the classroom.
Young Tiger Prep Academy students in Carthage are waiting to get their hands on some new books, thanks to a Carthage Family Literacy Council grant. These books are for the students to take home.
Literacy Council has actually offered books that they have been able to take home and keep at home, as well as this program, which will allow us to use the books back and forth from home to school on a daily basis, and so it just puts more books in their hands for those who may not have those resources at home.
Although children in this 4-year-old program are preparing for kindergarten and cannot read yet, these books help the students to learn letters.
Research says that the more you read to your kids, the better they will do in school, and so we just know as teachers that a lot of times kids don't have books at home. Maybe the only books they have are the ones that they check out from the library at school or what they got maybe even when they were born.
The Literacy Council is hoping to double the amount of books donated.
She looks angry.
I know that they will love them. Kids just love books. It doesn't matter where they come from or how they get them, but a new book is always like a gift.
Books are always welcome at the Academy as students prepare academically for kindergarten.
These are students who are almost ready for kindergarten, and we're just giving them one extra year to build the things that they need, and having these books in their hands will really help for that.
In Carthage, Yana Hautala, KOAM News.
Now, these two groups weren't the only students receiving books. The council also stopped at Fairview Elementary School's Tiger Prep class to distribute more books. Coming up, Freeman Health System is taking part in an event to raise awareness about heart disease among women. Plus, how a street way out in Salt Lake City, Utah, came to bear the names of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Workers at Freeman Health and elsewhere are wearing red today to raise awareness of heart disease among women. It's all part of the American Heart Month and National Wear Red Day in association with the American Heart Association. Officials want people to know about the dangers of cardiovascular disease, the leading cause of death among women in America. Freeman says only 56% of women recognize heart disease dangers, mostly because warning signs differ between men and women.
It's very important that you be treated very, very quickly. Freeman Health System has managed to shave minutes off of the response time during a heart attack. And we know that those minutes equal muscles. So we're helping to preserve that precious heart muscle and restore that blood pressure, that blood flow as quickly as possible.
Now, some of the symptoms specific to women are heart-related back pains and shortness of breath, even indigestion. February isn't just about heart health, it's also Children's Dental Health Month. To celebrate, officials with KCU Joplin College of Dental Medicine gave a presentation to local 4th and 5th graders. This assembly, called Show Me What Makes You Smile, was presented to students at Joplin's Irving Elementary. It was all about making sure the kids maintain healthy oral hygiene habits. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes might play for the Kansas City Chiefs, but a street 1,000 miles away now bears his name. From a suburb of Salt Lake City, Utah, reporter Alan Shope explains why.
Arrowhead Stadium is where our MVP quarterback calls home, but now there's officially a county-approved Mahomes Street, a place you can call home.
I named the streets.
Cameron Jackson is a real estate developer.
And I was actually watching a game, and I thought, oh, why don't I name a street after Patrick Mahomes? That'd be fun.
It is, and as far as Cameron knows, it's the first ever county-approved street named after Mahomes. Only here's the thing, it's in South Jordan, Utah.
Raised eyebrows.
Yep, it's big Broncos and Raiders country.
I've done some rock stars.
As for the city,
they start pulling the plat maps of because that neighborhood is brand new.
They love the idea. Cameron says unrelated, the city actually already has a Kelsey Street.
If I'd have put the two streets next to each other and we would have had an intersection of Mahomes to Kelsey, that would have been perfect.
Fans have tried it before. This is a sign from Emporia, and in a suburb of Denver, a Kansas City fan won a raffle getting to name the drive in front of the Denver area school. Of course, naming it Mahomes.
He wanted to heckle his neighbors who were Broncos Broncos fans.
They either take a lot of pride in that or they're like, oh man, I don't know who named that street.
As for his marketing plan,
Who knows? Maybe we'll sell a dozen houses to Chiefs fans and they can all do a block party on Mahomes Lane.
I love the fact that there's one in Broncos country. Patrick Mahomes and the Eagles' Jalen Hurts, they're going to be the first two black quarterbacks in history to face off against each other at this year's Super Bowl. A little bit later, it's time for college baseball. We're going to have highlights from Missouri Southern's season opener against St. Cloud State.
And we have a windy forecast for you for your Saturday and also a chance of rain. I'll have all the details when we return. Well, friends, we had a beautiful day across the 4 states. Hardly a cloud in the sky, lots of sunshine. A little bit on the cool side, but that's typical for early February. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, you can see clear skies, wall to wall. Nothing really going on weather-wise, just some cool weather as we head through the evening hours. Right now, we're looking at a high today in Joplin of 44, which was 3 degrees away from the normals of 47. 17 chilly ones this morning, which was well below normal of 26 on this date. Of course, we weren't anywhere close to those records of minus 11. Radar is clear across the entire Central Plains right now. The storm system that brought all the ice storm across Texas is now entering the western part of the Atlantic Ocean. Extreme cold for New England. Temperatures feels like minus 100 on top of Mount Washington this evening, so plenty cold for them. Big storm system on the west coast, that's going to take its time getting in our area as we head through the weekend. We're going to see the winds increase, especially tomorrow and again on Monday. Currently right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 37 degrees with a south-southwest wind at 7. Feels like 32, so there's a little bit of a wind chill, 15 on the dew point, and the pressure is currently falling. Temperatures across the region are generally in the mid-30s, a few 40s thrown in like Grove and Jay right now, 41 in Anderson, 35 up in Stockton, and 34 in Nevada. In fact, they're about 10 degrees colder tonight than they were last night at this time, a little bit warmer down towards the south. Winds, that's going to be the big story, especially starting tomorrow morning with winds generally around 40 miles per hour gusting. And then as we head through the afternoon, winds are still going to be up there around 40 to 45 miles per hour, maybe a gust up to 50 in some isolated spots on Saturday. And please be aware the fire danger is going to be up there tomorrow with the dry conditions, low dew points, and those strong winds. And the winds slacking off a little bit for Sunday, but by Monday morning, we're going to see winds back again over 40 miles per hour. So we're going to go through a little bit of a windy period here in the 4 states. Temperatures tonight are going to be dropping down into the 30s and some upper 20s as we head towards the morning hours with south winds. Then tomorrow afternoon, partly to mostly cloudy skies with highs in the low 50s across the area. Then Saturday night into Sunday, we'll see temperatures once again in the 30s with light and variable winds. And then on Sunday afternoon, we'll start to see the winds slacking off a little bit with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, especially down in Oklahoma where they'll reach in the lower 60s. So a nice warm up shaping up for your Sunday. Then on Monday morning, the winds come back with lows generally in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees. Here's a look at the forecast as we go through time. The cold air starts to retreat, the mild air starts to come in from the south, and then here comes the storm system on Monday into Tuesday, and then especially on Wednesday and Thursday. So it looks like a little bit of a wet period coming up in our forecast. And on the backside of that, we could see some snow. And again, we don't want to see any of that, but that's the way it's looking right now. Rainfall amounts are generally going to be around 1/4 of an inch on that system on Monday and Tuesday. Higher amounts maybe as we head into Wednesday. All right, let's take a look at the next 7 days. Warm weekend, but then showers on Monday and Tuesday. Colder on Friday with the chance of snow down once again back in our forecast. And of course, it stays cold behind that storm system just in time for the next system. So a little bit of a roller coaster on temperatures, but at least, we're heading in the right direction.
Winter and spring are battling it out.
They are.
My bet is that spring eventually will win.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Thanks, Sam. Still ahead, it's opening day for Pitt State and Missouri Southern baseball. Jacob Leonard's going to join us with highlights from the Lions season opener against St. Cloud State next.
This weekend is opening weekend for Pitt State and Missouri Southern baseball. Now, the Lions get to play at home to kick off the season, playing 4 games over the next 3 days in Joplin. Now, that starts this afternoon, hosting St. Cloud State in their season opener. On top of the first inning, Huskies with a runner on first, but Chayton Beck fires a perfect shot to second to get him on the steal. Gets him out of the inning. Cole Woods on the mound today for Southern. He was great. Strikeout here ends the third, then top of the fourth. More from Woods. He goes 6 shutout innings today, allows just 3 hits and strikes out 9. Now, Matt Miller comes up big at the plate today for the Lions. Had 15 homers last year, gets his first one of this season. At the bottom of the fourth, solo shot, it's 1-0 Southern. Then in the 6th, man on second for Miller, pulls it into the right field corner. RBI double, scores Garrett Rice. Matt Miller 2 for 4 with a home run and a double. He drives in both runs for the Lions today, and that was enough. Southern wins their season opener 2-1. As for the Pittsburg State Gorillas, they're in Oklahoma opening their schedule in the UCO First Pitch Classic. High expectations for Pitt State this spring. They were picked second in the MIAA preseason coaches poll against Southwestern Oklahoma tonight. Just getting started, scoreless in the first. We'll have the latest from the game right here tonight at 10. In case you haven't heard, the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. They'll face the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57 on February 12th in Arizona. They have this weekend off, but still, like we do every Friday night during the season, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
The Chiefs did it. They won the Lamar Hunt Trophy for the 3rd time in 4 seasons, and they're AFC champions again. Now the Chiefs get ready to end the season where they began the season, Glendale, Arizona, this time for Super Bowl 57. They will do so with a surprising team in many ways. Now, the large glow of superstars Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones overshadows the youth of this Chiefs team, the 5th youngest team in all the playoffs. Moreover, the 8 rookies the Chiefs played on defense and special teams last week tied an all-time record in the NFL for a conference championship game with the 1988 Chicago Bears and the 2013 New England Patriots. It's time to win a 3rd Lombardi Trophy, the 2nd in 4 seasons, and do it with a younger team than most realize on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
And that Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl will be Sunday, February 12th on our sister station, Fox 14. Right now, the Chiefs are actually 1.5-point underdogs.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I think they like it that way.
You know,
right?
the Chiefs have overcome long odds before. You know, when Mahomes was injured playing against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, I was worried.
Yeah, I think a lot of Chiefs fans were worried, but when you got the best player in the game, things tend to work out more often than not.
Exactly. The great equalizer. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Charles Stout Jr. served in the U.S. Navy from 1950 to 1954. Pittsburgh native was stationed in Korea and China, and we salute 3rd class gunner's mate Charles Stout Jr., a 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. How Joplin schools are using virtual learning techniques to make sure kids don't fall behind because of any severe weather. Plus, the Lamar, Missouri Technology Center celebrates 50 years of education. And researchers say they've created an anti-fentanyl vaccine to help fight the epidemic. Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The temperature, at least, is trending in the right direction.
That's exactly right. I wish we could decrease the wind speeds, but tomorrow's going to be pretty windy, but temperatures in the 50s. Much better day on Sunday with a high near 60, and then rain comes back in on Monday and Tuesday, especially Tuesday. And unfortunately, I had to throw in some snow there on Friday with the system coming in then, and then more rain as we head past that storm. So looks like it's going to be an interesting week.
Final sports notes.
I'm excited about this. We got a big girls basketball matchup in Southeast Kansas tonight. 7th-ranked Fort Scott at home against 9th-ranked Parsons. We'll have those highlights right here tonight at 10.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.